YouTube crashed. PTT is what it is. PTT. Morning, good morning. Let me put this in here. What is this? PTE? I forgot how to do this. Oh, PTT. KSC. Hello, Harold. 7ABH. Hello, everybody. ABH. Yeah, sort of impromptu. Well, now you can, but the app kept crashing. Hey, Dennis. Be sure to log out of the system, or after you finish, go to corporate Wi-Fi. I already have this. All right, so now I got internet on my laptop and on the phone, which is good. Let me take a look at this. Where's everybody at? We'll wait a few minutes. Maybe a few more people will come. Oh, thought she was talking to herself. She thinks I'm weird. Yeah, I've been up since 4:30, like every day. I can sleep when I die. Oh, thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. I'm busy, haven't been able to watch too many streams. Have a great day. Well, thank you. Because that's when I like to wake up. Where am I at here? What was that thing I wanted to say? Socrates. Oh. So I got a letter, and actually I think this is no, I don't go to bed at 6 p.m. I go to bed, now I'm going around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Sometimes 11 or 12, but most of the time. But I always get up at 4:30 or 5. No alarm clock. Let me see if I can get this kid's, no, I did a quick check on the guy, and he is real. At least this person is real. I don't know if this is, the person matches up with the letter, but I thought it was very interesting, especially in this time here in Thailand, and with the current, what's the atmosphere, I guess you could say. I thought it was pretty interesting because he clearly doesn't have a clue. Now, he's very young. Hey, Carl, how you doing? He's very young. And, hey, Siam. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. He's a very young guy, and there's nobody in there. There is absolutely nobody in here. People come and go and get their coffee and leave, but I got here at the right time. I should have come here at 6 when they open. This place opens at 6 a.m. Okay, so let me read this guy's letter, okay? Hey Scott, I'm 22 years old from New York in the US. Over the years, I've been following you and watching your YouTube videos and reading your books and things of that sort. I really enjoy all of your content and things you have put out. Okay. I never had a chance to reach you, though I wanted to ask for some advice. I am miserable here and never fit into this society, and every year it just gets worse and worse for me. I want to leave America and need some advice. I went to college for a few years and it was not for me. I have worked at many silly dead-end jobs. Where did I lost my place here? In my life, like retail clothing store, delis, pizza stores, etc. Nothing was working out, and I moved to northern Florida. I think you are from there. Actually, I'm from South Florida. And lived with my grandparents for a year and tried to make a life out there. I was a real estate agent and had a part-time job at Publix. My life went nowhere. I could not sell anything, was making peanuts at Publix. I even tried creating many businesses and they all failed. I created dog supplements and put them on Amazons and sent samples to like 25 other big stores. I didn't sell one bottle and it failed. I tried creating an e-cigarette business and imported from China and went into hundreds of stores and it failed also. I tried other businesses also and they all failed. It's beyond difficult to start a business here. It is something to do with people and society. Okay, I gotta stop you right there. Yes, it's something to do with business and society, but it's also something to do with you. Whether it's your fault or just you haven't found your niche yet. It's not just to do with people in society. Let's be honest. I moved back to New York and I am working for my family. I make $450 a week. I really don't have any friends, and don't let me get started with women here. I feel like a slave and have no happiness or quality of life. I wake up at 6 and get to work around 8. I end up work around 6 and get home at 7. I have 2 to 3 hours to myself to eat, shave, and shower before I sleep and do the same fucking thing the next day. My life will never change, and if I keep it up, I will be 50 years old before I know it with nothing to show. Okay, with that kind of attitude, yes, you're gonna end up that way. If you have that attitude, you probably end up that way. On the weekends, there is really nothing to do, and I catch up on sleep. I just don't get it. There is no life, and I just work. Can't meet women. It's very hard to make friends, and people are just so fucked up here. Again, I don't think it's necessarily just the people. I think some of it has to do with you. Sorry to say that. I mean, you know, the bottom line is everybody is not screwed up. Everybody is not. It's not the way it works. Let's see here. Scott, I am so depressed and unhappy. Okay, I gotta stop you there too. Maybe that's something you need to address with the doctor. Maybe it's not a situational thing. I don't know, because I don't know you. Well, that's what I'm getting at. Is there any way I can go to Thailand and get some sort of job and work there legally? I don't have a college degree, but I am open to anything because I am so miserable here. I actually did visit Thailand a few months ago for the first time. I loved it. I got so many girls without even trying, and the society is just so much more normal than the USA. Okay, I don't know how long you've been here, but I'm gonna assume not more than a month. And what I'll say to you is if you think that, you know, Thailand is so normal and America is not, I think you got another thing coming to you. You don't, living here and visiting is much different. I was happy and had friends and girlfriends and felt like $1,000,000. I don't know what to do, Scott. I am miserable in America and don't know how to get out. I don't want to waste my life here. Is there any advice you can give me? Yeah, go see a therapist. And I'm serious. I'm not trying to be an asshole. That's the first thing. Go see a therapist. Because he may put you on some kind of antidepressant, and it might help. I don't know. You got a job. You know, I don't know how much money you have left over, but start putting your money away. You're only 22, man. I mean, you know. The other thing is having friends and girlfriends is, I won't say it's unimportant, but you only need one good friend, two good friends. You only need one girl, really. I mean, you know, usually. I mean, you know, sometimes you might need more, but truly, if you want people to form relationships with, you focus on quality as opposed to quantity. And I say it all the time. I've got, let's see. I've got about half a dozen people that I call friends who are here either for many months out of the year or they live here. Back home in the U.S., I think I have 3 friends, and each one of them, one friend I've known since I was 20 years old. No, he doesn't have, it's been a few months since he went for the first time. I have one friend who I've known since I was, well, I think 24. One I've had since I was 22, and another since I was about 28, maybe 30. So these are long-term relationships. I don't have, you know, not that I'm like, you know, some kind of guru, but for me it's about the quality of the relationship and the person as opposed to, you know, I've got to have a lot of friends and big circle of friends. I got a circle of acquaintances. I mean, you know, just the other day I was walking with, what's his name? Who was it? Was it Longhorns? Yeah, it was Longhorns. And this guy and girl walked by, and actually the girl was very pretty. She's cute. And I noticed her because she was walking right by me, and I went, oh, she's cute, you know? And then the guy, you know, the guy was walking with her, and I did, you know, I wasn't, you know, gawking at her. I just kind of noticed him. Oh, she's cute, you know? And, what, you know, like, what a cute girl. She's quite a bit younger, you know, she was, you know, probably 25 or something. And then the guy turned around, and I thought, uh-oh. And he says, hey, man, aren't you that guy, you know, Scott from YouTube? I said, yeah, that's me. He said, oh, really nice to meet you. I was like, oh, cool. And then later that same day, a guy came up to me and said, hey, do you remember me? And I did remember. I met him in the mall. Now, these guys, these people, they're people I don't know. They're not my friends. I'm not gonna say, oh, they're my best buddies or they're my pals. The point is that there's no reason why you can't hang out with people and have a good time, and they're not really your close friends. You only need a couple of close friends. So to me, it sounds like you need to form some relationships and give it time, man. You know, but if you're staying at home all day, you know, every weekend and you never go anywhere, I mean, you can meet people even going to the park. I mean, I know in the U.S. it's a little more difficult, but there's people everywhere. And you're being miserable. Here's the thing I wanted to bring up. This is what I was talking about the other day. So this is a Socrates quote. He says, how can you wonder your travels do you no good when you carry yourself around with you? So basically, if you're miserable in America and you come over here, the chances are you're going to be miserable living here. You may not temporarily, And again, I think you should see somebody, whether it's a therapist or psychiatrist or whatever, at least a couple of times. Because he can tell you, you know, hey, maybe it sounds like this is depression and you need some medicine. Or he can say, it's situational and you probably don't need it. But you're only 22 years old, you know. And the one thing that I will say is, listen, do you know how many things I've tried and failed at? I mean, I fail all the time. I fail every single day. You know, I mean, I always say the only two issues I have, and it used to be one issue. One issue was I want to make more money. I need to make more money to do the things that I feel complete me. That's one thing. And now, as I've grown older, it's health. If I gave up, you know, there's times I get down and I just say, hey man, you gotta get up. You gotta keep going on. What are you gonna do? You're gonna wallow in your misery? You know. So, I think that's the first thing you need to remember is be a fighter. You know, be a fighter in life, man. Now, as far as coming to Thailand, I would not recommend it. To move here, I would not recommend it. Definitely would not recommend it. You work for your family. Tell your family you want 3 months off every year. You need it for your mental health. See what they say. All they can, you know what? Here's the thing, and I'm gonna get to this later on. It's about asking. If you ask the right way, they may just give in and say, you know what? Okay, you can do it this year. And see what happens. And then you come over and you check things out and you get a lay of the land, because I get the feeling you really don't know, you know, what Thailand is all about. You know, you can't just go in and work in a coffee shop. It's not gonna happen. You can't do it. I mean, honestly, if it was that easy, I would do it. I'd work part-time, I'd make a little extra money. I'd be like, yeah, okay, cool. It doesn't work that way. And quite frankly, I mean, you know, like, I'm not somebody who business-wise could say, I mean, you know, one business that I had made a good amount of money. I made, you know, 7, 8, 10,000 a month, sometimes a little more. But for the most part, most of them have been failures or very moderate successes. And the reason I do this channel mainly is to finance trips, but you know, it's grown into something that's been much more than that. Because there are a lot of people who, they want to see what am I going to do, or what am I going to say, what am I going to say about this situation, what do I think about this? Because, you know, granted, you can say whatever you want. I'm not into the whole Thailand, you know, let's make everything about Thailand. Oh, this is Thailand. Listen, if you can succeed in one country, you can succeed in another. You know? If you can make it in one place, you make it in another. It's about how your brain functions. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you really wanted to come over here and stay here for a while, let's say 6 months, save up your money and pay to be a volunteer. Make sure you get a work permit. Pay to be a volunteer. You can do that. Learn how to do something online. Do day trading. Start day trading. Start putting some money. Try doing something. Look into different things, because obviously you haven't found your niche yet. That would be my initial advice. You know, maybe in the coming 45 minutes, I'll think of some new things. But there's not a whole hell of a lot. It's not. This is not Singapore, where you can go to Singapore, immigrate very, very quickly. Or, you know, this is not the United States. You can't immigrate very, very quickly and then just start working any job you want. You can't be, you know, a barista. It's not gonna happen, you know. You could own a coffee shop. You can have somebody that you met and that you trust work the coffee shop for you. You could do things like that. There are ways around it, but you need money. Now, if you have money, you really don't have that many problems. There's a lot of things you can do. Save up the money to get an elite visa. Save up the money to get an ED visa. But you're not going to be able to work on an ED visa or an elite visa. You want to come here and work, and your options are limited for a number of reasons. They're not impossible. It's not that you can't do anything. But you know what? It'll take you some time. I mean, I can tell you certain things that you can do. End of the day, most of the time you need some kind of qualifications. You can't just be a laborer. You can't be somebody who doesn't, let's say you want to be a photographer. Okay, then you better learn some photography skills. And you better hope you have some luck. You want to be a writer. You better be a good writer. Or decent at least. Let's say you want to work in the hotel industry. Usually, if you don't have some kind of a degree, they're not going to hire you and then say, okay, you can go to one of the most primo locations in the world and go to Phuket or go to Bangkok or go to Chiang Mai. They're not going to do that. You're too young. You have no experience. You know, so, I mean, I hate to burst your bubble, and I don't mean to dissuade you from coming. Because if you're going to come and you're going to give it a try, you can look at it like, I'll give it a try for a year and see what happens. And then I'll go back home because I have something to fall back on. And you're not old. If I was to go back home and then I went, oh, well, I think I'm going to move back to Thailand again, I better have money. I better have my act together. You know what I mean? Because starting over is difficult. You're young, though, so you probably don't have an accumulation of stuff. And it's easier for you to start over again, you know. But there's a couple of things you said. I wake up at 6 and get to work around 8. I end work at around 6 and get home at 7. So you're working 10-hour days. And you're making $450 a week. That's probably after taxes. So in other words, you're not making all that much, but are you living at home? You know, you can email me later, you can join in the chat, you can do whatever you want, but it sounds like you need to make more money. Which, you know, $450, if you're living at home, then, you know, the only expense you have is going back and forth to work and maybe a little bit of food. And you're spending money, which if you really want to do something, you know, limit yourself to $20 a week or something, and, you know, maybe $50 once a month or something. Just so you limit yourself to, you know, to what you spend. Well, if he's got a job in New York and he's living with his parents, now if he's not living with his parents, then all that money's going to get eaten up. He's not making enough. You can't meet women. See, I'm under the impression if you can meet them here, then you can meet them anywhere. All it takes is a hello. And you know what? All they can say is no. All they can say is, what the who are you? Okay, I just said hello, bye. Sorry, that's all. And you know, I think that's happened to me once in like my entire life. You know, people, yeah, okay, people are a little bit whacked out now in the US, but they're not as bad as you think. Maybe you exude something that, you know, maybe because you're young, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't have all the answers. I just have opinions. I am miserable in America and don't know how to get out. I don't want to waste my life here. You and everybody else. Nobody wants to waste their life. There are times when I feel like I'm walking around or I'm doing something, I'm making a certain kind of video, like a chowderhead video. I feel like it's a waste. It's a waste of my life, man. It's a waste of time. You gotta get over it. You know, what are you gonna do? Sit there, like I said, we're gonna do mope about it, sit there and mope about it? What good's that gonna do? What good is any of that going to do? It doesn't do any good. You just have to keep going on. Keep pressing on, you know. You've had all these failures in business, well now you know what not to do. So maybe you need to concentrate on something that doesn't have anything similar to the things that you shouldn't do. You know, you avoid those things if that's what caused the failure. Because you know what, I mean, say what you will, there's only one path to success, and that's to continue trying. No college degree makes it very difficult for you here. If you had a degree, it'd be much easier. Why don't you get a degree? You know, go back to school. You know, I don't know what your situation is, but maybe your parents would be open to that. But it sounds like you got an entrepreneurial spirit with all these businesses, you know. Yeah, I mean, you know, what do you think I travel for? Why do you think I travel? I mean, I like bringing people videos and streams and, you know, showing them places that maybe they never get to go. I like doing that, yeah. And, you know, when people walk up to me and go, hey, man, I like your video. Yeah, you know, it gives you a little ego boost. It feels good. Of course it does. But mainly, you know, it's something so that I don't piss away my life. When I'm done with my life, I'm gonna go, I saw the world. I went to many, many places. I had many, many different experiences. You know, that's kind of how I feel. So, I mean, I'm no different than you. I'm no different than this guy. I don't want to waste my life. Now, have I wasted it in the past? There have been times when I pissed away my parts of my life. Yes, of course. But when you look back at it, you go, oh, wait a minute. Like when I was partying in all the bars here or partying back home, I had to get that out of my system. So in a way, I didn't waste that time. I learned, hey, this is not something I really want. You know. Yeah, and most Americans want to leave. You know what I mean? Like half the world wants to go there. They think it's the holy grail. And for some it is. You know, what you hear a lot about is all the people who immigrate to America and they make a big, you know, they have a big success story. You don't hear about all the ones who end up scraping by and who, you know, they don't make it nearly as to nearly the level where they thought they would. And I think that that's important to remember. I mean, I could easily say, well, you know, I used to tell, hey, Benny, how you doing? I used to tell my mother when I was a kid, this is, you know, 45 years ago, 40 years ago, I'd say, if I can't make $100,000 a year, I'm a failure. And she said, you shouldn't think like that. And she was right. You know, depends on what your motivation is, but my motivation wasn't all about money. And I think the most I've ever made is maybe 80, and that was only for a couple of years. You know. So by that measure, then I'm a failure. But do I really feel I'm a failure? No, I don't. So like with this guy, and you notice I'm not mentioning his name. It's not only, you know, yes, it's about working hard, but it's also about working smart. I think there needs to be there needs to be clarity in that. Yes, you can work hard, but you know, you could be digging ditches and you're working hard. You need to work smart. you know, you need to have a goal and an end goal, and you need to have little goals, and you need to, you know, I've been watching this guy lately. I've known about him for a long time, and I didn't know that he was so personable and so basically normal. His name is Alistair Humphreys, and he's I think he's from Great Britain, and he's done all kinds of wild things. He's cycled around the world. He's went across the North Pole. What did he do? He swam. No, he rowed a boat across. What was it? Across the Atlantic? Something like that. He's done all kinds of wild things. And he has this concept of micro adventures. And, you know, basically a micro adventure is nothing more than taking a small step. Or like my mother says, you know, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You do something small. So for this guy, you know, first of all, maybe he tries saving a little more money. Maybe he tries getting a raise. One little thing at a time. And he tries steering his life in another direction. You know, I'll tell you what I knew when I was in the US. I knew that I didn't want to be stuck at a job where I was going in at 7 and getting off at 5 every day. And once a week I got to go out. And I still had very little money. I was like, there's got to be a way where I'm happier than this. You know. And for me, it was travel. Long before Thailand, it was travel. So maybe this guy could, you know, like try going away for the weekend. New York has a lot of nice countryside. Go for a walk. You know, go spend a night out on a weekend. You know, let your thoughts settle. I think somebody just told me that today. Only 2 people working right now because the Happy Land hasn't opened up yet. You know, I don't know what else to say about this, but there's a lot of people who are like this. Yeah, I think if he can, you know, listen, if he makes 1 or 2 friends and he doesn't have real high expectations, this is the other thing. And I, you know, I can say, I don't have high expectations, but I have lofty goals. You know, I don't know when it was, a year and a half, 2 years ago, when I tried to walk from Chiang Rai to Chiang Mai. I didn't plan it out. I just said, I'm gonna try it. I wanna go do it. And you know, I walked something like 60 miles in 2 days or 2.5 days. You know, with a big pack on, way too big. I didn't know what I was doing. And I failed. But you know what? I tried it. I tried it. And I think he needs to just keep on trying, man. You know, if you've already said to yourself, oh, I'm so depressed, I don't know what to do. Listen, I don't want to hear it. You know, go see a therapist. If it doesn't have to do with your, you know, you having a mental illness or something like that, if it is a situational depression, go out and do something. You know, get out of the city. Go into the woods, you know. Go for a long walk. Spend the night, you know, spend the night out in a tent. Have a coffee in the morning out in the middle of the wilderness. And that kind of stuff helps, man. And it does clear your head, you know. But as far as like work here, you know, there are a few things you can do. You know, there are many different things you can do online. Jesus Christ. I didn't monetize this video, or this stream rather, because once I heard the music, I know they're not gonna let me monetize it. They'll catch me. As soon as this stream is done, I'll get a message. Copyright violation. Jesus, yelling. So, you know, I guess if you're listening or you watch this, you are not the only one who feels the way you do. And many people probably feel a lot worse than you, or have felt worse than you in the past, and they have bounced back and got to where they were in a happy place. This chick is fucking screaming. I'd rather listen to Crystal Gale. If that's who it is, I don't know who it is. It's gonna burst my eardrums, man. Yeah, so you are not alone. And you know, the thing is that, yeah, I think so. You know, whether it's playing a musical instrument, you know, learn the harmonica. You can pick up a harmonica, used harmonica for 10 bucks, you know, 15 bucks, or a new one even. Well, you know what? I Ching, the I Ching, the only constant in life is change. God, she's leaving. I suffer from acute noise pollution toxicity. Oh, thank you, George. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Wow, I like the name of your street. Makes sense. You know, when I was younger, I never thought of myself as a real artsy person. I thought of myself as somebody who, he doesn't have a college degree. Listen, I only finished 2 years of college, you know, and I mean, I'm not the exact model of success, but listen, I've been here almost 25 years, and for the most part, I'm happy, you know. Like I said, I only have really 2 issues. I'd like to make more money, which millions and millions of people around the world have that issue. And my health needs to be better, and I'm working on that, slowly, you know. Yesterday when I took that walk, my hip was hurting me quite a bit. I thought maybe I need some different shoes, some new tennis shoes. Oh, this is so much more peaceful. Where's this guy at? Let me see here. Now I got another guy. Now this guy's 53. I've been meaning to do a video about him. Yes, it's the only place. It's the only place. But this guy is 53. He says, I want to retire in Thailand in 2 years and need a little help. Here's my background. I'm a single guy, I'm 53. I'll be 53 in March 2019 and have saved enough in a pension which I can get to age 55 to live on in Thailand but it's not enough to stay here in the UK. I've been to Thailand a few times, but only seen Pattaya, Fantasyland, and the immediate surrounding area. On my next Thailand visit in early 2019, I want to start to look for a town or city to live in that's not Fantasyland, where I can retire, and I would appreciate your comments. My wish list. Availability of real Thai ladies, not just bar girls. So at least I have a chance of a normal relationship. Well, that's anywhere. Listen, man, if all you have to do is be bold enough to go up and say hello. You don't have to be like, hey, what's up, honey? You know, I mean, because that's not gonna work most of the time. You know, or give him a little, you know, some stupid look like that. You know, why is it that whenever I walk up to people, whether it's a man or a woman, you know, they're always decent to me, at least, and that's all you can hope for. You know, is it because I'm so handsome? I don't think so. Let's see. So anywhere, that's the answer. Now, the very next thing is availability of bar girls. Hey, I'm a guy, so I'll need this once a week until I meet someone special. An expat community. Good public transportation, like the buses of Pattaya. I had a motorcycle accident 10 years ago and don't walk too well. A good school so I can learn to speak Thai, not just my tourist Thai, which is just enough to be polite. Weather, that means I don't need long trousers. If I'm gonna retire, I may as well be warm. I do intend to visit Chiang Mai. Other than that, I have no other plans and would really appreciate your ideas. I've heard that different areas of Thailand are more or less expensive than others and have more or less rain than others. I'm not restricted to Thailand. If you suggested a fantastic place you know of, Vietnam, Cambodia, or Laos, I'd be open to suggestions. I know you're busy living your own life, which is why I would really appreciate the benefit of your experience when planning mine. Many thanks. You don't ask too much, do you? If you suggested a fantastic place you know of in Vietnam, Cambodia, or Laos, I'd be open to suggestions. Vietnam, I don't know well enough. Laos, I really haven't been there for a few years. Cambodia, I think Thailand is better. Myanmar, I don't think I would go there if I had a job that paid well and it was worth it. Aside from that, Indonesia, Bali, but it's a little bit more difficult to be able to stay there long term. But you know, availability of bar girls. Okay, here's the thing. You don't have to have bar girls. I mean, if you're talking about pay for play, then you got karaoke's, you got massage parlors, and you got maybe bars. But I'll tell you, if you have a truly decent chick and you just meet her and she finds out you're some guy who's like hanging out in the bars, chances are she might give you the heave-ho. She might say, you know what, this is not the kind of guy I want. Believe me, that can happen. Expat community. There are expat communities just about everywhere, but you should be careful about the expats. Take it slow. Weather, okay, well, you know. PI, there are places in the PI, okay, yes. It's not for everybody. I wouldn't, again, would I live there? I wouldn't want to. Honestly, I wouldn't want to. I'd rather live in Myanmar. I'd rather live in Vietnam or Cambodia. Just my opinion. Linda. God, this song is old, eh? I think if you live in Chiang Mai or Chiang Rai or somewhere up north, there are going to be times when maybe you need to wear, you know, you might want to wear a long sleeve shirt or a pair of jeans. I don't know that I would let that deter you from staying there. I think you need to go there. I think honestly, you need to go and travel around. I don't really dislike Chiang Mai, but as far as a place for me, I'd have to live outside of the city center. I wouldn't want to live in the city center. And I'd rather live in Chiang Rai, or even closer to the border. I forgot, I liked this. I liked her. When she was young, I really liked her. You know, and like I said, I mean, you go to most major cities, you're gonna find massage parlors, karaoke's, and the occasional bar. Some places have more than others. Chiang Mai, Hua Hin, Krabi, you know, Koh Samui. They all have a bar scene, but they're nothing like Bangkok's. So, I mean, you know, like, for me to name one place, I don't think like you. And trying to think like you is not easy for me. I mean, I don't know, I'd want to live on Samui. I mean, if I had it my way, I'd live on some island somewhere in a bungalow. But you want, you know, access to regular chicks. If you live on an island, you know, everybody knows everybody. You're gonna have a much harder time, especially in the beginning, other than, say, Phuket. You know, I don't particularly like Cha'am very much, or Hua Hin. I mean, I like them, but I don't like them enough to where I'm like, oh, I want to move there. You know, I like the islands like I went to. Like, both Koh Changs are good. I like Koh Koot. That was a great place. But they don't really fit his bill. Because, you know, the people on islands, you got to remember, if somebody's living there, a lot of them, they've lived there all their life. So they know everybody. So they're not going to just jump out with some Farang and go, oh, well, you know, I'm hooked up with this foreigner now, you know, because everybody in the whole place is going to know. You know, yeah, it is. It's very, very personal. And also, you know, he said, yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. Because of the way that my website is set up, that particular Weebly, they're I don't know if they've got any new ones, but I used to have a forum on it. And the forum, I don't know, the software wasn't very good. I didn't really like it. You know, here's the other thing. If I want to do it right, I thought about making an American in Thailand my forum. And just when you click it, it forwards, and it automatically forwards, it redirects rather, and it, you know, masks the URL so that, you know, there's no, it doesn't pop up another window. All that costs money. I don't have the money to be doing that kind of stuff, and, you know, what am I going to make out of it? It's a business thing. Costs a couple $100 to do it right, plus all the bandwidth, plus, you know, I mean, I already have a host, but, you know, yeah, well, going to Pattaya that's probably the last place I would live, you know. So, you know, all these things are things to consider. A forum is a great idea, but maybe at some point, I don't know. you know. Which brings me to my let me see here, 53 minutes. To my next point, which is how do I say this? I have a few people who are very generous, and if it wasn't for them, I'd stop making this. I'd stop making videos. I'd stop this channel. I wouldn't keep going because it's not. You know, it's something that takes a lot of effort and for very little money. What amounts to very little money. And I talked about it before. I did the thing with the Streamlabs where the little guy popped up every time somebody gave a donation. I can't do that on my phone. And I also did where I put up the goal amount, which was $7,200 for 6 months. I said that will allow me to travel a lot more. It will help the channel. Let me see how much I made. It was nowhere near that much. Not to sound appreciative for what I get, because, you know, I'm appreciative to anything, because the fact that somebody wants to contribute to my channel for me talking or for me bringing people things. Oh, it doesn't save it. That kind of sucks. I think it was $5,630 out of $7,200. Now, I put the same goal up, and 35, it works out to about 45 times 6. 35. So that'd be 15. 15 times, thank you very much, Sean. Appreciate that. $14 is 420. 420 times 6. So you're talking about 2,520 out of a $7,200 goal. I'm not in a position to do, to do things. I just can't do it anymore. So what I'm saying is, I'm asking people, if you go to my Patreon and if I got 500 people who donated $2 or $3 out of the 15,000, almost 15,000 people that I have, I'd be doing so much more. I'd be doing this stream from somewhere in another country, or in some other city. I wouldn't be sitting in a coffee shop. Not that that's not good once in a while. I think it's okay. But I'd be doing a lot more. I'd be bringing you guys a lot more. And, this is one of the things that is, I feel a little unfilled about. Thank you very much. That's another thing. I don't bring that up very much, but, I do have a VIP membership section, and maybe I should put up even the old forum that I had on the website, AmericanInBangkok.com. The old forum, maybe I can put that back up. It's better than nothing, I guess. But if people can go to Patreon and do that, if I could get like 400 or 500 people, that would help the channel, help me immensely. And I would appreciate it. So, if you can't, you can't. I understand. And, there are many different ways, but that's one of the ways. Buy my book. But the next step for me is, I'm actually considering doing a trip around Southeast Asia. Thank you, Soy Dog Cowboy. And, I appreciate it. I really do. I need to get more than just this core group. You know what I mean? Like, my core group isn't enough. I guess that's what I'm saying. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe there's something, and I've talked to this, to several people. Maybe there's something that I'm not doing right. Maybe the channel is just not viewed as valuable enough. The content is not valuable enough. I don't know. I'm just being honest. I think it is, but then, I'm partial. The other thing is that I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe campaign, because there's, like, you know, when I go to CASHAPP, okay, basically I'm fortunate because we have, no, I don't think it's a bad ask, and I'm asking. You know, I'm not begging, I'm not, you know, but, you know, listen, I'm thinking about the future prosperity of my channel. At least if you can't or you don't want to contribute, at least subscribe, you know, or leave comments or whatever, or just watch. That you know, that's fine. But you know, the plan is, and I've talked about this with Longhorns, and he may go, I don't know. But we're gonna go to CASHAPP. The reason we're going to CASHAPP is because it's a business trip for my wife. So that helps. And then after that, Longhorns and I wanted to take a train and go somewhere to where we can show, well, I can show. He's slowly becoming a cameraman. Slowly. The plan was to go into Malaysia, Singapore, and then Indonesia. And then a little bit later on, he may not go, but I would like to go to Laos on a kayak and stream and make videos about everything. You know, this is the whole thing. This is what the channel's about. I don't want it to be about chowderheads. I don't mind helping some kid who's, you know, hey, what am I gonna do? Okay, yeah, fine. Okay, you know. But the chowderhead thing, the women is, I mean, really it should be a no-brainer. It's common sense. And I can't lead a horse to water. I can't make somebody have common sense. But I need to, yeah, and I'm getting old. I'm getting old. My time is limited. Yeah, exactly. I know. I gotta keep that camera away from him. Revenge, man. He's gonna be looking for revenge. Oh, here's another one. Good thing I demonetized, eh? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and then of course there's the trip to Africa, which I've already got a free ticket. And that trip is gonna happen. It's just a matter of the guy I'm supposed to go with getting a schedule together. You say I'm not old, but my body is old. I've got arthritis. I've got a lot of aches and pains. I've had a lot of accidents, injuries, you know, broken bones. I'm beat up. So, my point is, I don't know how much longer I got. And I don't mean alive, I mean where I can function by walking around. You know, this year has been rough. I mean, you know, I had the hip replacement surgery. I mean, I had planters, what is it called? Planters fasciitis for a year. I had to go to therapy for that, physical therapy for that. My hands are thrashed, you know. Anyway, the point is, I may do the GoFundMe. I don't know. I need to figure the budget out for the whole journey. But it won't be in Thailand. It'll be outside of Thailand. Thailand I can do on my own. I mean, I guess it helps a little bit. I guess it's better if I'm looking only at me. But so that's the other thing. So when this guy wrote me and he's like, you know, hey, I'm so depressed. That's the thing. Like, for me, if I get the blues, I'm over it in a couple of hours. I get a good night's sleep, I'm fine. The morning I wake up, go for a walk, I'm fine. You know, I think that would help him, at least. Go for a long walk, and long I mean an hour to 2 hours. Get those endorphins. Hey there, Jared. Well, that's good to know. You know, maybe that's a positive attribute. I can carry a conversation. But you know, so there's what did I say? I said Khao Myanmar. I don't know if we'd stop in Malaysia, but Singapore and Indonesia, Laos, Vietnam, and then, like I said about the Africa thing, my friend, he is going to go, and it's tentatively April. And okay, cool, good to know. That's one out of about 500 people that I need. Oi. 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 I gotta think here. Coffee's worn off. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm thinking of Eastern Africa. I don't know about the Congo, because the problem with the Congo, besides the expense and the danger, is the fact that you can't. Okay, cool. If you're gonna do that, then share it. That would help too. I gotta put something together, and I gotta think about it, how I would do it, you know? So that's good to know. I'm thinking somewhere Western Africa. Now I can't get on the internet because my thing ran out. Let me see if this still works. This is supposed to work with AIS. And okay, invalid. So they give you 1 hour and that's it. Let's see if I can get somewhere else. True Wi-Fi. Could not be joined. True Wi-Fi. Let's see if I can get connected there. This is True Smart Log on. What the oh, okay. Good. True Wi-Fi. None of these work. None of their. I got True. Anyway, all right, whatever. I don't know. Somewhere in Western Africa. There's one place in particular, I can't remember what it is. It's over by but it's on the it's there on the coast. It's not Nigeria. I don't want to go to Nigeria. It's supposed to be very nice. So all those places. So if it means doing a GoFundMe to go to all those places and bring all those things to the channel, what I'd like to do is get rid of all the ads. No more ads, and just, you know, trust that I'll be able to do these things. You know, from whatever I receive, whatever I earn. Let me set this up here. Anyway, where were we? So, you know, it may come in the next week or so. If I can put it together in a week, I will. It just depends. I got a lot of things to do this week. Yeah, and I need to get checked out by the doctor again. You know, that's the other thing. I got one more set of tests, and then hopefully I'll be okay. As long as everything's normal, I'm good to go. Get some travel insurance and hit the road, you know. So, but I think, and I was talking to Dennis about this, I think Thailand, you know, as far as online and videos, the normal places, the normal tourist destinations have been done to death. It's oversaturated, you know. Good music, you're playing good music at least. No, I didn't. I didn't do it, and I want to, but I got to make sure that I can pay it every month, and I can't. It's $300 a month. It's an extra $300 bill, and I don't have it right now. I had hoped to, you know, the little bit more that I thought I could earn would make up for it, and I'd be able to afford it, but I can't. I mean, they're not going to cover the pre-existing conditions, but you know, anywhere I go, I got to make sure. It would be good to have travel insurance if I go somewhere else. In addition to, even if I have that insurance, it would be good to have travel insurance. And if you come here, that's one thing I got to stress. If you come here, whether it's as a tourist or to live here, you need to have something, because it could save your life, really, you know. So that's something to consider. Get travel insurance. And you know, that little stay in the hospital, you know, that hurt. I mean, it hurt in more than one way. I'm still on the rebound from that. So anyway, that's all I really got to say. I wanted to read these two guys' emails. Yeah, if I was to pick one place, it would either be Bangkok, preferably on the outskirts of Bangkok, more than where I am, or it'd be some island somewhere. But I don't think, you know, I mean, maybe Koh Samui, maybe Phuket, I don't know. I mean, you could live in Phuket, but it doesn't sound like the guy's got a lot of money. He says he has enough saved in a pension, which I can get to age 55. Okay, I think he means which I get at age 55. I think that's what he means. Which I can get to at age 55. I have enough to live in Thailand, but not enough to stay here in the UK. Okay. So yeah, I think that's what he meant. I'd go to an island. I'd go to an island before I went to Chiang Mai. Or even, you know, like somebody said, you know, Hua Hin, something like that. Somewhere on the coast. So anyway, anybody got any questions, comments? I think Longhorns must be crashed out. He must have worked out really early in the morning. You know, and when I yesterday when I streamed, I asked people, "Oh, where would you like me to see?" It doesn't seem like anybody really cares. Yeah, I did ask you that, but I didn't hear from you, and I shut the stream down. I thought it was 4 days. That's great. But you know, like if I go to Indonesia, Vietnam, there are certain places that, like Vietnam, it's the beaches. Myanmar, mainly it's the beaches, or northern Myanmar. What else? Laos, it's the river. I want to do the kayaking thing. Definitely. Anywhere I'd like to do the kayaking thing. I'm hooked on that. I want to do that more. Yeah, Bali is awesome. Bali is awesome, and there is, what is it called? Babe or Beba? It's a river. It's a river. I think it's a class 3 river, something like that. It's, you know, so it's not that bad. In Indonesia, it's supposed to be awesome. You know, I like to do the Halong Bay. There's a lot of places I'd like to see and go. It's not that I don't like Chiang Mai. It's I like other places better. And what I don't like about what I always say is I don't want to live near the city center. If I was going to live in Chiang Mai, I would live outside of the city where it took me a while to get into the city. Because I don't want to be around a bunch of tourists. It's like me living on Sukhumvit Road here. I don't want to live on Sukhumvit Road. You know what I'm saying? Everybody asks me that, and I prefer Chiang Rai to Chiang Mai because it's less developed. I want less people. I don't want more people. I don't want more noise. I want less noise. I don't want more people. I want less people. You know, more cars. I want less cars. So I hope that answers your question. Kayaking is fun and it's good exercise, and it's not it's not real hard on my hip. I mean, you know, listen, I didn't move to Thailand all those years ago. I didn't move to Thailand because I wanted to hang out with foreigners. It wasn't that I necessarily wanted to hang out with Thais either. I just wanted a different lifestyle. And, you know, for the most part, you know, I hang out with a couple of foreigners. You know, the Thais mainly are friends of my wife. And you know, I'm not out and about as much anymore like I used to be when I was working in boxing and as a journalist. Then I was always around a lot of Thais. I was in functions and all kinds of things like that, you know, press conferences. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing. It's not like I dislike it. It's kind of like, I like Mass Sot, okay? I like the city, but I wouldn't want to live there. I like, you know, Chiang Mai has cool stuff, but I wouldn't want to live there. If you had to do one thing all over again, what would it be? Whew. I don't know, that's a pretty good... probably not piss away so much time in the bars. But then again, you know, it's like everything I've done has kind of led me to where I am. So, you know, I know that sounds like a cliche answer, but it's the truth. You know, there were no real forums or in-depth guides or vloggers or bloggers when I first came here. There was none of that. There were barely mobile phones available here, you know, I mean, and they were expensive. I remember when I came here, I thought, oh, I want one of those, but I don't want to pay the money. You know, it's too much money. In the US, you know, I had one of those big Motorola's. So that's, you know, when I came over here, that's when it was. So when it comes to, like, do I have any regrets? Not really, no. It's a good question, though. You know. Probably the only regret I have is grabbing that rope and trying to go down from the 4th floor. If I had it to do all over again, I would have waited until the fire was coming out of the door and I didn't have a choice. Instead of saying, I better get down, you know. That's something, you know, I don't know if you call that regret. I think I learned from it. I can't use this. It kind of sucks. They only give you an hour here. And True doesn't pick up. I wanted to get on here and look. Is there any part of Thailand you haven't been or would like to go? I haven't been to Koh Lipe. Not really. You know, because I've been to a lot of different places, and some of them. You're welcome. No problem. You know, I'm sure there's places I haven't been, but a lot of times I would go to fights, to photograph fights, and what I would do is I'd go the day before, and then I'd spend the night of the fight after the fight, and then I'd come back late the next day, or even the day after that. I'd take a bus and sleep on the bus and come back at, you know, 5 in the morning or something. So I'd spend a couple of days, like Mukdahan. Didn't like that place. Or Chat Chung Sao, you know, been there. Nakhon Phanom, you know, Nakhon Ratchasima, Nakhon Si Thamarat, Suratani. I have another video coming up. It's not, I don't think it's in Kaohsiung. I think it's just, you know, in Suratani City. I think that's all the videos that I have left. And it's the Chak Pra Festival. You know, I've been to Lopburi. I don't like it. You know, I don't like all the monkeys. I don't like that. You know, I've been to Sukhothai. That was a long time ago, but I liked it. It's a very nice place. You know, so I mean, all in all, you know, I've been Krabi, Hua Hin, Cha'am, Prajua. You know, Rayong. So, while, you know, I think it's good that I do some stuff in Thailand, I also think that there's a lot of other places to see. And there's people that are interested in it. They're interested, oh, what's it like to be in Vietnam? Let me crank that up, man. And Laos. Laos, I want to go because I want to go. There's a video of a guy who does a trip down the Mekong in Laos in a canoe. And he had all this gear, and I'm like, why? You know, like, bring one bag. That's it. Minimal. But you know, maybe he knew something I didn't. That's why I'm looking into it. No, I don't. In fact, I don't think I'm subscribed to any of them. It's not because I don't like them personally, although there are a couple I don't like. But I don't generally watch them. You know. Teachings for do have a bachelor's. Yes, many people. You got a TEFL, you got a degree, you'll find a job. You find a job, you might not make as much money as you want to make, but you know, it's a start. You know, but yeah, no experience is not a problem. What was I going to say? I just went through my Twitter account and deleted like 150 people, 150 accounts, because I was like, what am I doing? I don't need all this. And I'm going to do the same with the YouTube. I have a lot of subscriptions, and most of them are to places like National Geographic, or some photography site, or some videographer site, or something like that. I don't need all of them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have time. I got too many other things to do than, you know, like, just sit and just watch other YouTubers. The only way that I really watch other YouTubers is if I need to learn something from them. And in Thailand, you know, I'm okay. I'll ask my wife, I'll ask my kids. You know, so yeah, I don't really watch anybody else. And I don't plan on it, you know. And the other thing, like I said, was I think, you know, the whole Thailand genre is a bit oversaturated. You know, it's more about the person, and I don't want it to be about me. Wow, thanks a lot there, Siam Keys. I appreciate it. Wow. Awesome. Awesome. What is this? What this guy say? Thank you so much. How much for a one-bedroom apartment in Ratchada, pool, etc.? Well, my buddy has a nice apartment. It's a studio. It's not a one-bedroom. And there is no pool. And it's $7,000 a month. And it's on Ratchada. It's off of Ratchada. Ratchada, Soy 7. So yeah, I mean, you know, you're looking at anywhere from 7 to sky's the limit. 25,000 really. I mean, realistically between 10 and 25,000. But most of them you're gonna have to sign a lease, you know. There's a guy online here that comes into the chats, Set to Stun. I think he said he pays $35,000 a month, and I'm not sure if he has a 1 or 2 bedroom, but I'm sure it's a 1 bedroom. Pays 35 grand, and it's, you know, it's a nice place. And it does have a pool and an, you know, fitness center and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, pay as much as you want. I knew a guy who had a two bedroom who, by the time he was done paying for the electricity and everything else, not just the rent, but the electric, because he had like 4 air conditioners and he ran most of them. He ran like 2 or 3 at a time. He paid $140,000 a month. So, you know, but if you want to go to some cheap area like a Newt or Victory Monument or somewhere like that, yeah, you know, you might be able to get one for 7,000, 10,000, 8,500 baht, you know, and it'd be all right. It's a Thai style place, you know. The floor is, it's not carpeted, it's just tile, you know, that kind of thing. So, all depends on what you want to pay. Well, yeah, it's pretty close to Tonglor. Well, listen, I mean, I used to live on, well, it was in between Sukhumvit Soi 1 and Sukhumvit Soi 3, and I think I paid 30 or 35,000, and it was a 2-bedroom with a big kitchen and a huge balcony. I mean, you know, it was a bachelor pad, styling bachelor pad. And by the time I got done paying for maid service, 2 phones, electricity, it was $45,000 a month. This was before I was married, you know, this was 23, 24 years ago. It's just hard to fathom it's been that long, but yeah. I wouldn't pay that much now, and first of all, unless I had the money, and second of all, unless it was a sweet place, you know. Bangkok, it's, you know, it's another place. It's all right, you know. I mean, you know, when you say how's a place, I mean, you know, like hard for me to say, you know. I mean, I like where I live here. It's a little run down, I'd say. You know, I remember in one stream, some guy goes, "Oh, look at the streets, they're so dirty, they're this, they're that." Okay, all the streets are not like that. You go out to La Crown, the streets are not dirty, there's decent areas, but there's graffiti in some areas, there's, you know, there's garbage in some areas, there's, I mean, you know, this is Bangkok, man. You go to Sukhothai, Sukhothai was, you know, the last time I went there was very, very clean, very, very nice. So, you know, it depends on the area. It's just, you know. And my suggestion is you walk around. You do a lot of walking. Take a week, 2 weeks, walk around and go look for places. Because that's how you're going to find the hidden places. Unless you have a chick, you know, a girlfriend or a friend or a wife who will help you find a place in the WAN ads. Let me shut this down. Oh, it's plugged in. It doesn't matter. So, yeah. I mean, if you have somebody, you know, like, listen, I wouldn't want to go look for a place myself. I mean, you know, honestly, it's not fun. But guys like Longhorns and Set to Stun, they found places on their own. The Set to Stun's a little different, but like Longhorns, you know, he stayed in a hotel for a couple weeks and looked around. That's what you do. You know, you got to give yourself a little bit of time to, you know, with boots on the ground, to get accustomed to the areas that you want to be around. You know, I mean, like, if you're somebody who, you know, like, all you want to do is party and go out and hang out in the bars and you got the money to do it, I mean, you know, get a place on Aso, get a nice apartment on Aso, and all you gotta do is go downstairs, boom, take the SkyTrain down to Nana, or, you know, go to Soy Cowboy, boom, you're there. But like, you know, you really want to do that? You know, long term, I mean, because you're committed, you're gonna be committed for a year. So. Yeah, I think it is. It's a nice place. See, I don't particularly like Ayutthaya, although if you go on one of the long-tail boats or one of the, you go on a boat that goes behind or next to all the temples, it's a good way to see the city. You know, is everything opening up now? Oh, I guess it opens. Oh, it's open. They open at 10 here. Not like the mall where they open at 10:30. I gotta get some copies. Yeah, you go behind. I heard it's the same thing in the Taj Mahal. You go on the river. You go behind everything. That's where you go. You escape the crowds. I don't like crowds, man. You know, Lori went to Chatuchak. She's like, oh, you want to go? I'm like, no, I don't want to go. You know, I'll barely go with my wife. The last time I went was with my mother because she had a van. She rented a van. And so I knew we'd have somebody to pick us up. We wouldn't have to fight with, you know, the crowds to get a taxi. And once, you know, especially because, you know, I've been there 100 times. So it's like, if I'm going to go there, it's okay, what's my purpose to go there? They do have some decent furniture there for reasonable prices. You know, kind of unique stuff that I like. You know, Thai style stuff. It's a good place to get furniture. You know, both on their phones. There's two of them and they're both on their phones. It's funny. Everybody in this place is on their phones. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 girls here and they're all on their phones. Heads in their phones. Anyway, so thank you for watching. Dennis, thank you very much. Dennis will be in Thailand in a few months. Thank you for all the support. I appreciate it. And Patreon is Patreon, patreon.com/An-American in Bangkok. Thank you, Dennis. And glad there were no trolls. You know, they're just disruptive. Yeah, you know, looking forward to meeting you. So when you arrive, do you just do you leave right away? Or are you going to be here for a little while, or what's the story? Because I think you said you're going somewhere. Be in Hua Hin and Pattaya. But how long are you going to be here in Bangkok? Oh, then back to Bangkok. Okay, all right. Don't come back and tell me, I met a girl. So Scott, I met this chick. I'm going to be like, I was in Pattaya and I met the girl of my dreams. Anyway, yeah. visit my website. I'm gonna start blogging again. I think it's important. So I think it was the all-wise, always full of wisdom Longhorns who said to me something like, "Oh, I haven't been to your website in a long time." And I said, "Why not?" He goes, "Because you don't blog anymore." He goes, "What am I going to go there for? If I want to watch your videos, I'll just go on YouTube." And yeah, okay. And so I started thinking about it. And it's like, yeah, why would people come there if they're not a member and they're not going to watch the videos on this, you know? So I need to start blogging again. This place is getting packed now. What do I need to do? I need to get some copies, some envelopes, and then go home. Anyway, thank you. Don't be surprised if a GoFundMe comes out, or if it doesn't, one way or the other. I don't know. I need to figure out the budget and see if it's realistic. I want to do it on the cheap, you know, which is always a little bit scary. Need some you hunt, we cook. She's yeah. I've been cutting back on eating there because, you know, it adds up after a while. I mean, I ate there a lot at first, but they've still been saying we're going to revise our menu. We're going to revise our menu, and they haven't. So I've been hoping that they would. But I went there the other day, and what did I have? I just had a piece of chicken and some salad. So yeah, well, she comes later in the afternoon a lot of times, and I think she was gone for a few days. She had some family stuff to take care of, so I don't know. You know, they're cooking. Both of the girls, they can cook, but I prefer the dishes that she makes for me, as opposed to the other girl. So anyway, but yeah, it's always good to go there, especially if you're, you know, like with Longhorns, he ordered that huge piece of salmon, which was good. So anyway, I better go. Thank you all again, and I'll talk to you probably in the middle of the week sometime. There should be a video going up. What's today, Saturday? Should be a video going up tomorrow. Tomorrow, 6 o'clock Bangkok time. Okay? So until next time, choke me, Leo, jerk and my. That's good luck, and until next time. All right? See you guys later. Take it easy. Take it easy. See you guys. See you, Stroker. Adios.